So good morning to all. So today we are going to see about the Java programming concepts. Okay. So first let us see about that OOPS concepts. So what is OOPS? That is object oriented programming. So let us see what are the basic idea about that OOPS. So OOPS allows us to decompose our problem into different numeric entities, so that each entity is called as a object. Each entity is called as a object. So here the object oriented programming also having some of the characteristics. So what are the characteristics means, let us see one by one. So first one is it is emphasis on data. That means it is focusing on the data only. So next one is programs are divided into what are known as methods. So and also the data structures are designed such that they characterize the objects. So what are the data structures that we are going to characterize? That is based on the object only. And methods that operate on the data of the object are tied together. So what does means here, what are the data that are going to use by this method? That data as well as the method all are going to combine into one unit. And also the data is hidden. That means whatever the data that are specified inside the object, that cannot be accessed by the outside environment. So that by this way we are providing the security for your data. Next, the object can communicate with communicate with by just sending that message between each other. And the main purpose of that object oriented concepts that we are going to use reusability. Next we are going to see about, so what are the basic concepts related to object oriented programming. Okay, so the first concepts that is related to object oriented programming is a object. The next one is a class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. So what is meant by object? So in the real world environment or real world, so what are the entities that we are observing? Either it may be a physical or logical. So that may be designed as an object. So what is meant by object? An entity that is a state and the behavior is known as an object. What is meant by state? The state means what are the values that is associated with the object. For example, if you let us take it as a student as one object. The student may have a value of which one, the student name and the roll number and all these things that may be treated as a which one, that is a state. So by using this state, what we can do some processing. So why we do some processing? We want to get some of the useful information regarding that object. So for that we are using this which one, this state. So how we are going to extract the particular information? By using the behavior. So the behavior that maybe consists of some of the process. For example, if you consider that student having that collection of marks, if you are going to calculate which one their average or total marks, so what we are going to do, we are going to define some method, some function. That function is called as which one? That is a behavior. And the object can be defined as a instance of a class. Object can be defined as a instance of a class. What is by the instance? The instance means, so the real time implementation of that particular class is called as a instance. Next, the concept we are going to discuss about, that is a class. What is by class? The class is a collection of objects. The class is a collection of objects. So it is a logical entity. That means it does not exist as a which one, the physically in your systems. Physical means it refers to the memory of your systems. So the class only giving the template of your object. So that with the help of this class, what we can do, we can define what is the structure of your object. For example, if you are going to define the class for the student, so what are the data that is related to the student you are going to keep, and what are the process that you are going to perform by using this data. So both the things we can define in where as a one blueprint. That blueprint is called as which one? Class. Next one is a inheritance. So the inheritance concepts help us to get or reuse that information that is defined in one class to the another class. That means by this inheritance, what we can do, we can reuse the data values or data number that have been defined in where some other classes. So one of the main use of this inheritance is we can implement or achieve the polymorphism. So what do you mean by polymorphism? So polymorphism tells that it can perform the same task in the different way. For example, if you consider if you are going to perform the draw operation, so the draw operation can be implemented to draw the which one rectangle, to draw the which one triangle, or to draw the circle. But the which operation we are repeatedly performing, the draw operation that we are going to perform repeatedly, but that may be take the different data and perform the task based on the which data it is going to take. So the next concept is we are going to discuss about the abstraction. The abstraction telling that, so we are going to tell the what are the basic things related to that class or object. So we are hiding the complexities. For example, if you consider that object as your car, so we are showing that which one the structure of the car, but we are hiding that which one what are the internal parts, how it is working. So that internal complexity is totally hidden from the user. So that is the main purpose of which one using the abstraction. Okay, you see here how in which way that we can implement that abstraction in a programming. So here we can implement that abstraction through just by defining the abstract class, as well as we can define the interface for your class. Next, encapsulation. So the encapsulation is telling that by this way what we can do means with the help of encapsulation we can combine. We can combine what are the things, the data and as well as the method that we are going to use, that method going to use those data. So just like you just see the capsule, so inside the capsules, so what are the things you can see in the real world? So the capsules, they are hiding the which one, the drugs or chemicals. So that things you want to protect from the outside environment, affection. So that, so without we want to keep safely that particular medicine from the outside environment means. So what we are going to do, we are putting that particular drugs inside the capsule. So by this way we are protecting that which one, that particular drugs. So likewise also, if you want to protect our data, we are going to define one structure. That structure is called as a class. So inside the class, whatever the data that you are defining and whatever the method that you are defining, that is totally protected from outside the environment or outside people. So by this way we are providing which one, the security. The main principles that we are going to summarize related to the groups. So what are the things we discussed in the abstraction? I already told you what in the abstraction. Abstraction means we are going to tell some essential things, so just to hide the complexity from the outside world. How we can achieve the abstraction? Just by defining the abstract class, and just by defining the abstract method, and just by defining the interface in Java. And also what is by encapsulation? Wrapping up or combining the data as well as the method corresponding to any object or class. How can we achieve this one? Just by defining the class or interface, and these are the different access modifier that can help us to protect the data within the class. Next, polymorphism means the same task that will be executed in the different way or implemented in the different way. How we can achieve this polymorphism in Java? Just by using the concept of method overloading and method overriding. So the method overriding that we can perform during the compile time, and the method overriding we can perform during the run time. And also the inheritance means we are acquiring or reusing the properties. That means the data members that is defined in the parent class. So how can we achieve this one? Just by defining the different type of inheritance. That is a single and multi-level inheritance. Okay. So for what we have discussed here, the basic concepts of the OOPS, that is object-oriented programming. So these are the concepts, but it is not a programming language. So if you want to implement these concepts means obviously I have to use any one of the programming language. But here which language that I am going to use? That is a Java language I am going to use for implementing this. Which concept? It is a OOPS concept. So now let us see what are the basics related to the Java. So Java is a programming language and also a platform, and it is referred as a high level and robust and object oriented secure programming language. So that we prefer to use that which one, Java, for the implementation of the OOPS concepts. So now these are some of the basics. That is an introduction about the Java. Java was developed by the Sun Microsystem and in the year of 1995. And James Gosling is known as the father of the Java. Why? Because he only developed the Java. So next, so Java is referred as a platform. Why? Because means the hardware as well as a software environment in which the program is running. So it is also, that's why it is also referred as a platform.